sports content, head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network, live, woodwardsports.com. As always, Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate on a beautiful Wednesday morning. Not that it's important information, but damn it, it's information I think you should all know. I haven't slept yet. Yeah, I have not slept yet.
I knew something was odd when I got here and your car was already parked outside.
Yeah.
Typically, me or Matt is the first one in.
Yeah, usually even JB first.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I can't sleep. I didn't sleep all night. Fuck my life. Here we are. We're going to try to make it through today. And hopefully, we get to sleep later tonight.
Hopefully.
Having said that, we have a great show planned. Dan Campbell, super excited, amped up at Media Day. Talked about the defense. We'll open up with that. We'll get to the comments on Jalen Carter, what he found interesting. At 8:30, I want to have a conversation with all of you, and the phone lines will be open. 313-552-6322. The conversation will be which NFL draft visits are A, you very excited about, and B, not excited about. I'd like to know who you're looking forward to, who you're not, who the Lions should be interested in, who they shouldn't. Jeff and I will go around the NFL. Lamar Jackson, owners are coming out and indirectly, completely sabotaging his negotiation status, especially if he wants, quote, the Deshaun Watson deal.
And did you see what Arthur Blank said, Falcons owner?
Dude, that is
pretty. I mean, he was honest.
It's pretty damning.
He wasn't wrong.
Doesn't matter. It's pretty damning. It's pretty damning what's going on. At top of the hour, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell spoke on the team, who they're looking at, and what we're going to follow up that with. What we're going to follow up with that after the fact is at 9:15. Phone lines are going to continue to be open. What the hell's going on? Because I don't know. And you guys can call in and give your explanation or what you believe is true. But I like to think I had a very good pulse, and so did Jeff last year, on positions and where they would get taken. Now, did anybody see the Jameson Williams trade up outside of Aqib Talib? Probably not, no. But for the most part, they went and got exactly who you thought they would in the order they did. Okay. This year, I have no fucking idea. I don't. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like I do. I don't. And I actually like that. Kind of turns me on when the GM is very ahead of the game. Turns me on. Having said that, what the fuck? I can't figure it out.
Well, it's a different situation, though. I mean, last year you're picking 2. It's pretty obvious.
You had no choice, right?
Now you're at 6. You're in an interesting spot because even Brad Holmes, when asked about a quarterback, doesn't give much away. Asking about position, well, we're taking BPA. So I think he's in an interesting spot where maybe he's trying to trade back. He's keeping his options open. So the fact that Brad's kind of maneuvering like this, it's impressive. I like it. I would hate every year to know what Brad's doing. I think that's...
Yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like them being very close to their, having everything close to their chest. I don't mind it.
Like last year, was if Aiden's there, you're taking him, and there you have it. He was there.
Right. So but we talked about Josh Pascal. We talked about a second edge rusher in the
True,
draft. Kirby Joseph.
Yeah.
So, it's
a little different.
Much different this year. It's going to be fun. But let's start off with Dan Campbell. Speaking yesterday, dude was ready to jump out of his seat. Talking about the defense, how it's already improved, how if they just stopped right now and they went out and played ball, they would be significantly better. Now, maybe some of you will be surprised by this. I actually not only agree with him, yeah, I'm on board. It's factual. It's not an opinion. It's not anything but factual. It is 100% fact that the Lions secondary got significantly better this offseason. And with the additions alone, they will be better than they were last year as a football team. That doesn't include your draft. That doesn't include any trades you possibly may make. That doesn't include any possible free agents you still will consider pursuing. I'm with Dan. I'm on the edge of my seat, ready for football season right now. Yeah, there's the draft and all that, but already the secondary is significantly better. And to put it into context, you want to look at corners and how often they were targeted last year. This secondary, nobody wanted to throw to them last year. Granted, Emmanuel Mosley hurt, so that number's a bit inflated, but you now support Jeff Okudah with Gardner Johnson, Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, Kirby Joseph, Tracy Walker. Sign me the fuck up for whatever this is. That alone makes me very happy. Do I want an interior defensive lineman? I do. Do I want more edge rushers? I do. Would I like to see them draft a corner or a linebacker? I would. That's all irrelevant right now. Go play football. This team is already significantly better, and the NFC, like we all agree, is at its lowest ebb in terms of overall talent, especially at the quarterback position. I'm with Dan. Lions are just trending up, and there's nobody that will get in their way, in my opinion, other than themselves.
And I love Dan's point, too, he made is, well, even if we don't make any further moves, the defense by default will improve. And we talked a lot about that on the show over the last couple weeks. Just simply having Malcolm, James Houston, Aiden, Josh Pascal, these guys going into their, Kirby Joseph as well, going into their second year, they're automatically going to get better just by having another year under their belt. Now you add CJ. Now you add Emmanuel Mosley. Now you add Cam Sutton. Like this defense, and you talk about last year, a defensive line, a young defensive line that set franchise records for sacks in a season, and now you upgrade your secondary, they're going to be able to help each other. I mean, even last year with that bad of a secondary, the defensive line was playing well. Now you got guys that you can rely on, not Jeff Okudah going out there being your number one. I said that repeatedly last year. As much criticism as you want to give Jeff, and that's fair. It's very fair criticism. He was in an unfair spot. He should have never been your number one corner. Now he's not. Now he's probably your fourth best corner at this point. Rightfully so. So I'm excited. And the defense, man, with AG cooking up some things, and Dan talked about that. It's
maybe
you
can answer this, or maybe even Broder. But I want to know who posted the Jeff Okudah workout session on the Woodward Sports social media account. Anybody know who did that?
That's Lucas or Booner. We got to find out.
Lucas or Booner, you can text me whenever you want, because we need to talk. That was one of the most stupid tweets I've seen in my life. Like anybody even knows who the fuck Jeff Okudah is at this point. Like anybody even cares. Oh, he's working out again. Here we go. This is the season. Ah! God, I come across as such an asshole. I get it now. I really do.
And it's even with Tracy, too, just to add him on, you're getting essentially a free player at him. He's coming back from injury. So, again, even with Jeff Okudah, last year, him being really your secondary player that's under the most spotlight, now he's kind of in the backstage. Like, there's like 4, 5, 6 guys before you even get to Jeff Okudah in the entire secondary. So,
that's the way I like it.
Much better situation for him, not as much pressure.
Yeah, great. You know, if he's on the bench, making sure the seats are warm for Gardner Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley, and Cameron Sutton, hey, that's a great job. Great. That'll be the most excellent season we'll get out of him.
And that's not even including if they draft a corner. Like, if they get my guy Emmanuel Forbes or whoever else, bumps him.
He's on the list for visits, huh? So we'll get to that at 8:30.
Can't wait.
I know you can't wait. It's your favorite player. One of your favorite players, I should say. Oh, God. Okudah workout videos are the new Miggy is in the best shape of his life. 100%.
Yes. Comment of the day right there,
That is
David. That's spot on.
An excellent comparison. That is exactly what it is. Oh, God. I love you guys. Fantastic. By the way, outside of my shitty sleeping habits, which I didn't get any last night, obviously, fasting completely fucked me this year. Not sleeping right, eating at weird times, it doesn't feel good. Like I have to force myself to eat just so I can get some energy for the next morning, drink a ton of water. I've gone through a whole case of water in the last 3 days, like the 36-pack. I've gone through it. It's ridiculous. I'm drinking way too much water. Good or bad thing, I don't know, but I can't sleep. It's not good. Maybe I'll hire someone to knock me out. I don't know. Melatonin? Is that what they use? More melatonin in my body? The hell if I know. The hell if I know. Bro, Adderall makes you not want to eat or sleep. Well, I'm not on Adderall. You know what's funny, by the way?
No sleep and you're on Adderall.
I was offered Adderall once in my life. It was before my ACTs in high school. And I was so fucking tempted to take that shit. I really was. I still walked in. I think I got a 24 on my ACT, 23. It's a whatever score, you know. I wasn't one of the smartest people in the school. Whatever, all the nerds that got 28s, 29, 30s, 31s, went to Harvard, and I don't know what they're doing in their lives. I don't, but, you know, here we are. Dude, the ACT used to be like a terrifying thing. And now it's just the SATs, right?
Yeah, everybody.
They got rid of everything?
Everybody was on Adderall doing that. I had a buddy who, when he took Adderall, he was just so locked in. There was no, like, emotion. Like, he barely ate anything. He was just strictly locked in. He looked like a robot. So after that, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I've never took an Adderall in my life. But hey, do what you got to do, Adam. You're running off no sleep right now, and you're doing pretty good for it. So
yeah, not bad.
You don't need
start.
anything.
I haven't forgotten anything. Probably a half hour in, I'll be stumbling on my words. I'll be slurring. I don't know what'll be going on. It'll be really bad, probably. Who knows? Dude, I tried so hard to sleep last night. I, like, paced myself around the house. I went for a walk outside at, like, 3 in the morning. I tried everything. Nothing. I took a hot shower. Nothing. Couldn't sleep. And then my wife had the audacity to get mad at me. Why aren't you asleep yet?
For not sleeping.
Like, it's my fucking choice right now. By the way. Pissed me off. Ridiculous.
And by the way, Wheezy D, J-Mo was on 6 Mile. Did you see that? J-Mo,
I saw that video.
He was at the Coney Island.
For the Coney Island. Gassing up the Super Bowl run.
The most Detroit thing. Shout out to J-Mo, man. He's just hanging all around the city. I love it.
God.
That is funny.
1,500 on the SAT. Is that a good score? Anybody know the score breakdown for the SATs?
That's pretty good. 1,500 on the SAT.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's like average?
Not 1,500. I'll say that.
Is 1,500 like Elon Musk level shit?
Yeah, that's like 95th percentile. Like,
oh wow,
you're
look
talking,
at this guy.
Yeah,
look at this guy.
That's insane.
900 is average. All right, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, 900.
My sister is one of those nerds too. She's studying law at NYU.
Oh wow,
wasting her life.
Wasting her life.
You know, civil law out of all things. You know, what are you gonna do? Can't raise them all perfect, right?
So are you? Oh my god!
I just always give her shit. I'm joking.
That is funny.
But I'm not. We'll take a break. When we get back, Dan Campbell made some interesting comments on Jalen Carter. We'll get to that next. If Carter is available, do you pass on him? Like, I don't want to be the guy that sits up here and says you do.
Then
okay?
don't.
Wait, but hear me out. When you give me a ton of reasons, it makes it a very difficult decision. Can we at least agree on that? So we'll get to that next. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Citron.
Let me tell you about them. Citron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. And right now, they have an exclusive offer for Woodward sports fans and their limited edition Red Wings 6-pack, only $15 plus free shipping. Head to drinkcitron.com/Woodward and try it today. All 3 flavors. You see them on the screen if you're watching on woodwardsports.com. Cranberry, sugar-free, the original. Check it out. drinkcitron.com/Woodward.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Well, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. If you're missing the show live, you can always go back, watch it after the fact, download the podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, leave a 5-star review for Jeff's hair. Speaking of hair, I really need a haircut, and I keep passing it off, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not getting one today either. And I know I really have to.
Self-awareness is key.
Like, when I drink water, it sticks on my mustache.
Oh, my God.
Like, that's how you know it's bad. Yep. You do a little tongue action on the top of your lip.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's how you know you're fucked.
It's okay. You're in caveman mode right now.
I am in caveman mode, and I don't care. Here's what we're going to do. Jalen Carter. Dan Campbell spoke. Jalen Carter. Jeff, I want you to start here, because you know how I feel about the whole situation. I'm not going to be in the room, and neither are you, to give a definitive answer on what they think of his character, okay? I'm not.
Right.
I only have the pro day and this film to go off of. What do you think?
So I'll read the quote. This is per Jeremy Reisman, too. He tweeted out, Jalen Campbell and Jalen Carter. He said, quote, "We talked to a teammate of his the other day in man." Of course, you got to throw in the man in there. "He told us some things we didn't know that nobody probably would have known. It was like, oh, that's interesting." And then Jeremy asked if it was good or bad. He just said, it's interesting. So when I read this quote, I could have took it either way. Now, you read the story. If you didn't, I'll enlighten you a little bit. When Carter was at Georgia, the story came out where he bought his teammate lunch. He couldn't afford lunch, whatever it is, throughout the season. So I don't know if it's a good thing in terms of, Jalen Carter helping a teammate, or it's something else. And just to kind of talk about Jalen Carter a little bit, they're going to meet with Jalen, and we kind of had this discussion already. That's probably the biggest deciding factor whether you're going to draft him or not, is getting to sit down with Jalen Carter. And again, Dan Campbell talked about it, accountability, love for the game, football character. You're going to find all those things out when you sit down with him. So this is significant to go meet with Jalen Carter. I mean, this is a guy who's mocked #1 overall for quite some time. And if he's there at 6, you got to do your due diligence. I know there's skepticism, especially Adham mentioning, he failed his job interview, showing up to his pro day out of shape, cramping up. It's not a good look. But defensive tackle is a need for the Lions. And if you have a chance to get the best player in the draft, widely regarded by a lot of scouts, personally I think it's Will Anderson, but still 1 or 2, whatever it is, you at least have to do your due diligence. So I like that Dan said this. He didn't give anything away. He didn't want to gas up Jalen Carter because he doesn't want him to, if he wants them to be there available at 6, but also doesn't want to put anything negative out there. So this could mean anything. Personally, if I had to just give my gut feeling, I don't think it's a bad thing. So, again, this is something that the Lions are going to really have to consider. You get Jalen Carter on this defensive line, good luck double teaming Aiden Hutchinson. And I know your guys can't see, he's another one. But if you're talking about drafting at 6 and staying put, the most value you're going to get for a pass rusher is Jalen Carter, a defensive tackle, for number 6 overall. So, again, if he's there, I think the Lions are going to have to consider it. If I'm Brad Holmes, I'm pulling that trigger. But only Dan and Brad will know more than anybody, any of us, once they get to sit down with him and just feel him out. Is he accountable? What does he come into the interview with? Complete honesty, regret, self-awareness, football character, all those things he has to check. But if he does, Adham, if I'm Brad, I'm not even hesitating. I mean, you get Jalen Carter at 6, you could bring up Tyree Wilson. This isn't a draft. I feel like at 6, there's so many different options. And that's probably why also Brad hasn't really gave anything away either. You've seen Christian Gonzalez mocked to the Lions, Tyree Wilson mocked to the Lions. I've seen a quarterback mocked to the Lions. You've seen a lot of different players. But if Jalen Carter's there, he is by far better than any other option that would be there at 6. Keyword at 6, if you don't trade back or anything like that. Now, Mike Tannenbaum can come out and have him mocked to 18, which is complete bogus. But if the Lions don't take him at 6, to me, he's not making out of the top 10. There's a reason why the Bears traded back as much as they did.
I think the Raiders, I don't see them passing on him.
That's the Raiders' MO, by the way. You take guys with character issues. But still, this is why you have a culture in place. I said this a week ago. You have a culture in place with Dan, Brad, the players that can hold other players accountable. So if Jalen Carter comes into this culture, he is not going to mess it up. I promise you. If anything, this would probably be one of the best destinations for Jalen Carter, given the character issues, quote unquote. He comes into the Lions. You already have key foundational pieces that are going to set a standard that Jalen Carter is going to have to follow. So to me, it's a no-brainer. But again, Adam, it's hard not to be a little skeptic about it.
Well, this came out 1 hour ago. Allegedly, there's, quote, secret, or let me go back a little bit. Quote, there is new secret information relating to Jalen Carter that might see his draft stock freefall. Again, it could be bullshit. I don't know what's going on. I don't. All I know is I want to know what you guys think. What do you do? What do you do at 6, huh? What do you guys do at 6? Carter's there on the board. Do you pass on him? Do you draft him? That's going to be the conversation from now till the draft. Because in all likelihood, he is going to be there at 6. Even if the Seahawks pass on Tyree Wilson, there's no guarantee they'll take Carter. Who knows? Who knows? One of the biggest problems I have, Jeff, with this whole Jalen Carter saga and how they're public and not public with it is none of the defensive tackle related news with the Detroit Lions is making sense to me. And you guys tell me, Adam, you're off, or Adam, you're onto something here. But it doesn't make sense to me. You got Pitt's pro day today, and allegedly, reportedly, according to Brad Holmes himself, they haven't scouted any defensive tackles outside of Jalen Carter. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
But for a position where Calais Campbell just signed with Atlanta this morning, you have Jeffrey Simmons available that you'd have to trade for. Defensive tackle is a position of need, and this is a very, very good defensive tackle class. You've got 3 solid ones that'll likely go in the top 18. So, what's going on here? What's the deal? What am I missing? What am I missing? And to me, when things are quiet about a certain player or position, to me that raises the alarm that that's where the focus is. So you can come out and distract people with a backup quarterback or Lamar Jackson or Jalen Carter's a hot name. So yeah, I'll answer a few questions on him. Mm-hmm. Oh, Kalijah Kancey, yeah, never scouted him. Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that one.
Again, could be all BS, but it doesn't add up to me. It just doesn't make any sense. I am happy about this, but also frustrated. I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm on board with it. I like my GMs to be unpredictable. Having said that, Jesus Christ, it's nipped up in a bud right now. It's impressive and frustrating.
Yeah, and again, I don't know if Brad delegates that to some of his scouts or what, but like to your point, you're clearly the biggest need of this football team post free agency is an interior defensive tackle that can rush the passer. And you bring up Kancey, Carter, those guys fit the mold. So the fact that he was, not as familiar with Kalijah Kancey, I don't know how true that is, considering Brad kind of is playing mind games a lot, and he doesn't want to give away his cards or show his deck yet. So I understand that, but Kancey's got to at least be on his radar. He's the second best defensive tackle in this draft, and he's going to go in the first round. So if Carter's off the board, he's going to get familiar with Kalijah Kancey very soon, if he hasn't already.
We'll see. Should be fun. There'll be a lot of draft talk coming out over the next few days. Should the Lions move a second-round pick, maybe a little bit more for Jeffrey Simmons? That's going to be interesting. The Calais Campbell thing yesterday was a little jerk fest on Twitter that I just enjoyed watching.
Wait.
Dan Campbell went out, complimented the hell out of him. Oh man, the guy's old, man. He looks like he's young. Old man. And then there's all the social media Lions guys that want him. Oh my God, bring this guy to Detroit. Literally, I wake up before I even use the bathroom. He's signed with Atlanta. The hell was the point of yesterday? What a waste of oxygen and life.
Dude, I need the details of this Atlanta deal. I don't get... I don't understand it. Like,
how old is he, by
the way? He's 36
34?
years old.
Wow,
he's 36, and you sign a 1-year deal.
What's the problem with that?
With the Falcons. Like,
that's no problem. I don't see a problem with that. Good for him. Good for Atlanta.
I mean, they added Jesse Bates. They added some guys.
We'll get to this at 8:45. But you want to talk about one of the teams that should make a big move for Lamar? Atlanta. I know they came out and said Desmond Ridder. I don't care. Desmond Ridder ain't shit. He didn't show 20% of what Jalen Hurts showed his rookie year. And it wasn't all that good his rookie year. Desmond Ridder. Get your shit together, Atlanta. Get your shit together.
Yeah, if I'm Atlanta and you're rolling in with Desmond Ridder, good luck.
Well, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have some fun. Phone lines are open, by the way, 313-552-6322. When we return, we'll start taking calls. Which NFL draft visits are you, Jeff, most excited for? I bet Emmanuel Forbes is at the top of that list. See, the slurring, the forgetting, it's starting to happen. I may die by 9 o'clock. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So we'll take a break. When we get back, we'll have the conversation. We'll answer phone calls. But Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Well, it's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves it. Not only technology backed by people, but people have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT today for more information.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, let me tell you about my good friends over at Custom Health Centers. Sign up today. Dr. Jason and his amazing team will help transform your body and your life. Get started today, 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-8446. Try them today. Get started. If you don't believe me, check out Ryan Ermanni on the 2 o'clock show, and you'll see he's down over 20 pounds since he started his journey. All right.
Can I read the reason why Calais signed with the Falcons? I just want your thoughts on this.
Has to be food related. I don't know. I mean, you're making it seem like it's something ludicrous.
I just thought it was funny. Because we were talking about Desmond Ridder. Ian Rappaport tweeted out, while Calais Campbell had several options, he bought into the vision of Atlanta coach Arthur Smith and GM Terry Fontenot. He's been to a conference title game with a young team and a young quarterback before, the Jaguars, and perhaps there are some similarities.
How much was he paid?
The details haven't came out, but
well, that's why. I'm sure they paid the living hell out of him.
The part I love is he's been to a conference title game with a young team and a young quarterback before. The Falcons making a title game?
I plead the fifth. JB, let's go to the phone lines. Who are we starting with this morning?
All right, I'm going to send you guys James first. Here's James for you guys.
All right, James, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy? James? Thinks James.
All right, James
is either dead.
No, he's not. He's MIA.
All right.
Well, thanks for.
Let's try the next one.
We'll try
Who do we
this.
got?
Uncle Stuffy.
Uncle Stuffy. That's a hell of a name.
Oh, God.
Uncle Stuffy, I hope you're not a pervert. So we'll start there. How
Uncle
you doing
Stuffy.
this morning, buddy? You
Hello?
there, Stuffy? I hear you doing something.
I hear him, but I don't.
I hear him too.
Okay, hold on.
I dropped the call. What are you gonna do? I think he's either shitting or masturbating. I can't really tell, to be honest with you.
Uncle
So
Stuff.
if you could take him out of my ear, JB, I'd appreciate it. Jesus Christ! What the fuck are we doing this morning?
Uncle Stuffy, what the hell?
Uncle Stuffy's getting fucked in his ass, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's
Jesus Christ.
Uncle Stuffy was doing something we can't put on the airwaves.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Someone's getting stuffed.
Guys, if you're going to call in and give me this bullshit, I'm going to close the lines.
Wow.
JB, who do we got next?
All right, I'm going to try James again. I just got back on hold on. He said he's here, so here
All
we
right,
go.
James, I believe you this time. James, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us?
Uncle Stuffy, man.
James, don't fuck me. I don't hear you.
Tony Montana.
This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. All right, fuck you guys.
So we
We're
got
not taking calls.
Uncle Stuffy and James. Are they together?
I have no
Are
idea.
those two together?
I think James is stuffing Uncle Stuffy. That's what I think. That's what I think. All right, here's what we're going to do. Jeff, let's talk about Emmanuel Forbes. That's your boy.
It is.
He'll be meeting with the Lions soon. Your thoughts. Give me your take on whether or not, one, you think it's feasible they get him at 48, and two, where do you want to see the Lions take a corner? Forget Forbes after that.
Yeah. So for me, it's interesting because I've been on Forbes since the start, kind of like you've been with Cansey. It's your guy. It's my guy, Forbes. I love him. Especially Lions need to address corner, and I was never really a fan of a corner at 6. So to draft Forbes, he could even go late first round, but I think he'll be there early second round. So the Lions are going to have to make a decision. If you're going to trade up from 48, is it going to be for Jack Campbell? Is it going to be for Emmanuel Forbes? I think those are the two players you're targeting. I wouldn't have an issue with either one. But the biggest thing for me as Emmanuel is the biggest criticism is his weight. He's too thin, his frame. Well, he's gained some weight. Excuse me. And that was the biggest thing that stood out to me yesterday. His pro day, he weighed in at 170. So again, it's not significant. But if he can gain weight, I mean, he ran a 4.3, low 4.3, tall, lanky. I mean, he had 6 pick sixes in college football. I think he led all college football last year in pick sixes. He had 3. So Emmanuel Forbes is someone you're going to have to look at. And if you draft him early second round, it's great value. So they met with him already at the pro day. And if you're going to take Jalen Carter at 6 and maybe go edge at 18, that allows you the flexibility to either go Campbell or Emmanuel Forbes. And especially with the signings they made, I think it takes the pressure off of Christian Gonzalez at 6. You can still get some corners. There's a lot of corners I actually like in this draft.
Are you bought into that, by the way? I don't think I've asked you this.
What?
Not just Christian Gonzalez, but anybody.
Any
secondary player at 6? Are you bought into that? Because I'm not.
I'm not either. I'm not a huge fan. I don't see a Sauce in this draft, so I don't want to take one at 6. I like Gonzalez.
Forget Sauce. Can they be J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain year 1?
I don't think so. Any of these guys. I like the corners, but 6 is way too high for any of these corners, in my opinion. I think there's better defensive linemen, or I'm simply a quarterback you take at that position. So no. And that's why I've been really high on a guy like Forbes, because he's somebody I think you can get early second that still has great value. So we'll see. Especially with Carter falling, I think it's pretty much we're done with the whole cornerback at 6 conversation. At least I am. So Emmanuel Forbes is a great option. If he just gains some weight, I don't think the drop-off between Forbes and Gonzalez, Witherspoon, it's not significant. Like last year, it was Sauce, Derek Stingley, and then you started getting to some other guys. I don't think it's like that this year. It's a very different draft.
By the way, 2 things relating to the cornerback position. They've upgraded the secondary. I think we're all happy with it. We opened up the show with it. Dan Campbell obviously is very excited with it, rightfully so. So, by the way, when you tell me, oh, don't buy into this team, they got to prove it. They got to prove it, Adam. They haven't won the division in 3 decades. They haven't won a playoff game in 3 decades. I know that, guys. I know. But you know what? I think I'd be a very dishonest human being. And not only dishonest, but really lazy and just mean. If I didn't sit up here and tell you anything but what I've been telling you about this team. Which is, after they upgraded with the secondary, Jeff, they can still take one at 18 or in the second round, however you want it. And they are not only set up to win this year, but for the future. All these one-year deals, they're non-committal, guys. And you still have a ton of money. You have a ton of money left still. And you can re-sign Panay, and you can re-sign Amon-Ra St. Brown coming up in the next few years. Cool. Still got a lot of people on their rookie deals. Aiden Hutchinson's going to get that fifth-year option. Panay's going to get that fifth-year option. J-Mo, you hope, is going to get that fifth-year option. And that guy's not going anywhere. And then you have these guys this year, 6 and 18. What's going to happen? This team is built to last, man. So when we talk about the secondary, the way they went out and addressed it this year means they're trying to win right now, but they also didn't constrain themselves for the future. And I think that is such a class NFL chess move that maybe 4, 5, 6 teams in the league consistently do and have consistently done in the last 2 decades. I've seen the Steelers do it, the Patriots. I've seen the Niners, the Ravens. Really, off the top of my head, those are the 4. If you guys want to name any other ones, be my guest. But this kind of business, where even now, like, it's such a unique situation. Like I said, it's a young core. You can add all these vets, and they can all leave next year. And then everybody gained a year of experience. And oh, you're still young, and you still have a ton of cap space available. Yeah, I'm buying into this team. And even if Dan Campbell is a turd, they're still going to win a lot of... Hear me out. They're still going to win a lot of games, man. This is a very talented football team. And I think the way Dan has them set up going into next season, watch out. That's the 3rd best team in the NFC right now. We haven't even gotten to the draft.
I think Dan's job, along with all the good things he does, just stay out of the way. Like that's
just avoid the fourth quarter blunders.
That's
just avoid that, and you go 8-2 down the stretch, and everybody praises you, and everyone's like, "Man, this guy's a really good coach. Man, he's got potential. Man, this team. Man. Just avoid the dumb shit like Minnesota. Just avoid the dumb shit, please." Which I think he will, and I think he learned his lesson. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Cool. So whether you want to talk about the secondary, the defensive line, this team is already a 10-win team in my mind. And they haven't even addressed the draft. They're already 10 wins for me. Top 10 offense.
Yep.
Top 18, top 20 defense already. You hit on the draft, you're probably looking at a top 15 defense. Sign me up. That's an 11-12 win team. That's a team that's going to win a playoff game. That's a team, oh, by the way, that not only wins their division, but for the first time in Ford Field's history, they're going to host a playoff game. You call it KoolAid, you call it what the fuck you want. I'm calling a spade a spade.
Yeah, it's realistic.
This is a very talented football team. They're not going anywhere. Jared Goff is still under this $30 million contract this year and next year, so you're not having to pay him anything. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Do you think the Lions, because I asked you this earlier, we were talking about, because it was reported, Adam Schefter tweeted this out, you have the quarterback extension race between Lamar, Joe Burrow, Herbert, Hurts. It's pretty much first to get the extension, so you don't have to top anybody. You can kind of set the market. You think the Lions are looking at Goff and at least thinking if they want to keep him for the future, it's something they're going to have to consider? Not that I agree with it, but if you wait too long...
They should. No, they should.
You'll have your Daniel Jones...
If he goes out and throws 4,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, you should extend him for 2 additional years.
Because if you wait...
Unless you have a sadistical, under the table plan that nobody knows about to move up in the draft and get your guy. that you think is going to be available. Again, this is all on Brad Holmes and when he wants to draft a quarterback. If he wants to draft one next year, cool. It lines up exactly with Jared Goff's contract. I don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
If he's not ready next year to draft a quarterback, well, I can extend Goff and extend the window and not overpay Goff. Now, if Goff wants 42, 44, 45 million, yeah, I'll show him the door. I don't expect that to be the case. I don't. And the salary cap will continue to go up. So again, I'm not too worried about the Jared Goff thing. I'm not. If his play significantly regresses, you have to move for a quarterback. You don't have a choice. But the better Jared Goff plays, the better it is for the Lions because they can still make a move for a quarterback and they can delay the decision to get a quarterback. That's a good place to be in. Cards are in your hands, and you can make a decision when you're ready. Sign me up. We're going to take a break. When we get back, Lamar Jackson, if you were advising him, what would you do? What would you say to him? JB, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. We'll get to Jeff. Where should he go? What would you advise him? What the hell is going on? We'll get to all that and next. Or excuse me, all that and more next. 9 o'clock, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes. We got to get to more of the things they've said over the last few days. 9:15, I have a draft confession. I alluded to it earlier, but I have a draft confession. And I want to get all of your thoughts. We'll see if you guys can call in and actually, I don't know, have a conversation. We'll do that too. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Chili Peppers Tanning.
Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations and more on the way.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Some favorites during Lent like shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and the new fish sandwich. Get to your local Big Boy today. Don't forget the all-you-can-eat buffet, fish fry buffet at Big Boy on Friday nights.
8:43 on a beautiful Wednesday morning. WoodwardSports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff Iafrate live. JB, Jeff, this is the question I'm going to pose to both of you. If you were advising Lamar Jackson, what would you be doing right now? Owners are coming out and speaking against fully guaranteed contracts. You know that Herbert, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, they're all now in a race to get contracts. And if I'm honest, I'd offer Joe Burrow 8 years, $400 million. I'd offer Justin Herbert 8 years, $380 million. And I'd offer Hurts 6 years, $250, $260 million. And I'd balance the market, and a lot of it would be guaranteed, not all of it. But if you're advising Lamar this morning, guys, JB, we can start with you. What are you telling the guy? What are you doing?
Well, first and foremost, I'm telling him to go out there and get an actual agent and stop letting your mom sit here and control things for you off the bat. Afterwards, I'm going to see if you can patch things up with Baltimore, even though you don't want to be there. Just patch things up so you're not leaving on a bad term. But after that, I would go out there and see what teams are actually available that want to take the step forward, whether that be to trade those two first or for you to sit here and take a pay cut and have to actually prove yourself out there on the field next season. So those are your best moves that I can see right now for him. So whether he decides to take that, that's on him.
Yeah, another part of that is like beware, because again, you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. So for Lamar Jackson, as much as I agree with him, feeling righteous with demanding what he thinks he deserves, I get all that, and I support it. But there's going to be a time, Adam, where as time goes on, millions and millions and millions of dollars, generational wealth will be taken away from you. So the more you wait, you risk that. So although I agree with Lamar and I agree with player empowerment, get your money, there's going to be a time where Lamar's going to have to really self-reflect and say, okay, am I going to get the Deshaun Watson contract? Because if I'm not going to get it from any team, you got to be able to compromise. Because what's the difference between a fully guaranteed contract and 70% of a guaranteed? At the end of the day, with how Lamar plays, his play style, I get you on guaranteed money, but at some point, you're going to have to take a deal. And the Ravens offered him more than Kyler Murray. To me, that's fair. But in his mind, hey, I want Deshaun Watson's contract, but it's just not going to happen. So I agree with JP. Get an agent, number one. But number two, don't hold out too long because it could cost you millions.
How many primary running quarterbacks have made it to the Super Bowl? Primary. Think about that word. Primary running quarterbacks. Quarterbacks that throw for less than 3,000 yards and run for anything over 800 yards a year. How many? I'll tell you, 0.
I was going to say, well, it's not
and
Lamar's
you can't say
favorite.
Cam Newton because he threw for 4,000 yards and 3,800 those 2 years.
Yeah, that was his MVP season.
Where's the running quarterback? It's not real. It's not. Lamar Jackson's career high attempts in the NFL is 401. And that's in a 15-game schedule. Or, excuse me, that's in 15 games that he played. Do you guys understand how many games or attempts that is? That's nothing in the NFL. You have quarterbacks attempting 34, 35, 36 passes a game. This dude is attempting, what, 30? Not even. 25, 26? Come on. If I'm advising Lamar, hey, Baltimore, it's a good situation. You're going to have a top 10 defense. They're committed to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go in, and you know what, Lamar? If you want fully guaranteed, I can't get you that, and that's the job of an agent. It's to say, hey, this is what's real. This is what isn't real.
Right,
Lamar, I can't get you 5 years fully guaranteed, but I can get you 5 years, 220, 230 million, 70% of it guaranteed. Or we can go the 3-year, $133 million route, fully guaranteed, and then you lose the long-term money that you want. You have to compromise. You don't get everything you want. And last I checked, there's 2 quarterbacks in the NFL that can walk into my office today as an owner of an NFL team. They can walk into my office and say, hey, bitch, open up the checkbook. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. That's it. Everybody else, suck it. 2 quarterbacks can walk into my office and tell me what the fuck to do.
Yeah, the blank check.
Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes only. Trevor Lawrence, one day, maybe he can get there. He's not there yet. Herbert, not there yet.
Can you explain why that is, too? Like, because I agree with you 100%, but why would you be willing to pay those guys a blank check? Or give those guys a blank check?
Okay, well, let's start with Burrow. Because Mahomes, I think it's too obvious, so we'll go with Burrow first. Burrow, his first year in the NFL, showed a ton of promise. It was a great start to his career. Tore his ACL. Unfortunate. Horrible offensive line. First year, with the same horrible offensive line, gets Cincinnati, which under Marvin Lewis, Carson Palmer, Chad Ochocinco, all the teams they had, couldn't win a playoff game. He gets them to the Super Bowl year 1. First full season as a starter. Year 2, gets them back to the AFC title game, is 4-0 against Patrick Mahomes in his career, loses for the first time in that title game. Joe Burrow, who for the last 2 seasons, I don't have to question his health. Oh, by the way, Joe Burrow doesn't make any noise outside of the locker room. I never hear any stories about Joe Burrow. I don't even know where the fuck Joe Burrow is right now. And I like that. I don't want to know about you in the offseason. I don't want to hear jack shit. And the same is for Mahomes, except Mahomes is at a completely higher level than Burrow right now in terms of he's won 2 Super Bowls. He's been to 3. It's not even close. He also has that open checkbook, mindset more than anybody, really.
Right.
But I think there's only 2 guys. Hurts, I like him. Pay him. Herbert, pay him. Lawrence, you'll pay him.
Allen, I would say pay him too.
And Allen, too, to an extent, but they did already pay him. So, like, to me, there's that handful of guys. Lamar, bro, you've missed games the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You're throwing more interceptions per pass. Had you played a full season, and had you thrown the NFL average in terms of attempts, had you thrown the NFL average, you would have thrown 22 interceptions the last 2 seasons each.
Mm-hmm.
And you're missing games. Bro, you don't have leverage. You had leverage 3 games into the season where you were unbelievable. And then you were like this. And then you got hurt. And then you never came back. Oh, and you never agreed to a deal when your value was probably at its highest post or pre-Miami Dolphins, week 2 or week 3, I believe. When you were out there running for 120 yards, throwing 3 touchdowns a game, it was ridiculous. How do I know that? He was my fantasy quarterback. I was in love, and then I traded him, and rightfully so.
Another part of that, too, is playoff success, which I think is the most important factor.
1 and 3.
And again, 1 of 3 in the playoffs. But even Deshaun Watson, as bad of a year as he had last year, not even playing an entire season, Deshaun Watson, people forget, in Houston, what was he up? 3 scores against the Chiefs in that divisional game before they, collapsed and lost. Like, Deshaun Watson, to even his credit, has more playoff success and has had good playoff games, has played extremely well. So if you want Deshaun Watson money, that's a tough argument. Even if you're basing it off of last year, it's still, if you look at their entirety of their career, Deshaun's a better passer, and he's had more playoff success. I mean, even Justin Herbert, because, again, the playoff success doesn't really equate to Justin Herbert, but still, play last year with broken ribs.
But you're projecting with these guys.
Exactly.
What am I projecting with Lamar?
Well,
a guy that's gotten hit over 1,200 times in his NFL career?
And
he's not lasting more than 3 seasons. When I think of a franchise guy, and this is why I always disagree with you on Lamar, if I had to roll out and give somebody a 6-year deal today, hell, 5 years, I'd give it to Lawrence, I'd give it to Allen, I'd give it to Burrow, I'd give it to Mahomes, I would give it to Herbert, no problem. I would even consider giving it to Lamar, or not Lamar, Jared Goff, who for a majority of his career, he's never really been injured.
No.
I have injury questions with Lamar. And you want me to commit long-term to you and give you fully guaranteed?
And this isn't a torn ACL with Joe Burrow. It was a PCL injury, knee injury with a player that relies a lot on his legs, his athleticism. So it is concerning. Like, even Burrow, you tear your ACL, it's not good, but still, that's not going to affect the rest of his career. A little different with Lamar, especially if you want fully guaranteed Deshaun Watson money. And Deshaun Watson's a stud. He is. I mean, take out last year. We'll see what he does this season. But still, it's a tough argument for Lamar. Like, I'm rooting for him. I hope he gets paid. But to get Deshaun Watson money, I think that's an anomaly. As much as I agree with guys setting the market and you have to top other players, Deshaun Watson compared to Lamar Jackson with what he's got. Now, Lamar's an MVP, I agree, but since then...
That was 4 years ago, man.
That's where I was getting to. Last 2 years, he's missed, 5 games? So it's a tough argument.
Let me address dipshit in the chat here real quick. Zach Connors, one of my favorite dipshits that appears on the morning show, Woodward Sports Chat. Hey, guys. Why does everyone talk about Herbert like he's elite? Lol, he ain't yet. If averaging 4,600 yards for your first 3 years in the NFL and averaging 30 touchdowns a year for your first 3 years in the NFL and only 10 interceptions on average a year your first 3 years in the NFL isn't elite, I don't know what is. If having more passing yards in your first 3 years than Patrick Mahomes, who, by the way, won an MVP his rookie year, if that isn't enough, I don't know what is. If 4,300, 5,000, 4,700 yards If 31, 38, and 25 touchdowns isn't elite, I don't know what is.
Yeah, he's elite. I mean, come on.
This is not even close. Of course he's elite. Of course he is. He's in that conversation as a franchise quarterback. Has he elevated his team to that next level? No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. I've seen Matthew Stafford do shit for 12 years, leave, go to the right situation, elevate everybody, win a Super Bowl.
If you have almost 100 passing, no, that's important. 100 passing touchdowns in 3 seasons, almost. That's
94 touchdowns in 3 years, 14,000 yards in 3 years.
That's pretty elite.
Garbage. Give me Desmond Ridder. Headphones keep falling out. It's starting to piss me off.
And that's what Joe Lombardi is as OC, by the way.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I think at the end of the day, I'm glad Brad Holmes, or excuse me, was it Brad Holmes? No, it was Dan Campbell came out and said, no, we're good at quarterback, correct? What's the exact quote?
Brad said it's much easier to get worse at quarterback than...
No, Dan Campbell yesterday or the other day on Lamar Jackson, I'm referring to.
No, yeah. Dan said, we're good. Here, I'll read the exact quote just so you have some context here. Dan said, let me see this. He basically was saying, we're good, man. He's like, we're good with Goff. Lamar's a good player, but he's like, I'm comfortable with who we have at quarterback, in that quarterback room. So Dan essentially shut it down. Brad was a little more open-ended because he's like, we're going to evaluate all players available, but Dan had nothing to do with it. He was like, nope, we're good. We got Goff.
Okay.
Which I respect, actually.
Yeah, look, again, Goff is a good quarterback. He's a good option. He's not elite. He's not in that conversation with any of those guys at the top.
But you still have success with them.
But you can win with them.
Yes, you can.
And for a team that hasn't had success in 30 years, yeah.
We'll take it.
I'll take it, please. Give me the problems, God, one day where the Lions are losing NFC championship games because Jared Goff couldn't make the key throws in pivotal moments, and they've won 2 divisions in 3 years and been to 2 NFC championships. Please, God, please give me those problems. I can't wait. I can't wait for those problems. Whose birthday is it? Malcolm Rodriguez? Good for him. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, kid. Happy birthday. We'll take a break. When we get back, top of the hour, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes continue to speak on the season, the players, excited about what's ahead. Brad Holmes, to me, is keeping a lot of stuff close to his vest. He's not giving anybody anything. Dan Campbell is like a kid on candy at Halloween night. He's like, I'm ready, man. Let's go, man. I'm ready. So we'll get to that and more coming up. We'll take calls as well. I want to get to callers. Thank you guys for waiting patiently. Get your shit together and talk on the phone, please. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Let me tell you about them. Many businesses choose Swiss Insurance, so you should as well. Check them out. Get your commercial insurance review. Swiss Insurance, give them a shot and you will not be disappointed. Mark at SwissINS.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Whew. Oh, JB on the 1s and 2s.
We're live. WoodwardSports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate. If you're missing the show, you can always go back, listen, and watch after the fact, wherever you listen to podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you leave a 5-star review for Jeff's exceptional hair. Weather's good. Life's good. Being a Detroit Lions fan at the moment, I think, is good. It's getting better. I think it'll be euphoric 12 months from now. We'll be recapping what I think will be a very, very good season. I think historic, at least for this franchise. I do think the division is theirs this year. I do think a playoff win is very, very reasonable to ask for. And hosting one, I think it'll happen. I do. Having said that, Brad Holmes has been very limited in offering anything about any player or what the Lions are planning on Jeff. Sitting there making comments about whether it's the defensive tackle group or Jalen Carter. Brad isn't given much. He isn't given much, and they've re-signed Nate Sudfeld, but they're still technically in the market for a quarterback. And then you have Dan over there, eager, excited. His pants are about to fall off how excited he is. I see two guys that are in peak form right now. Brad's operating, getting ready for the draft. Dan is like, holy shit, this is a team.
Yeah.
This is a fucking team. I like the direction they're going in, Jeff.
And I want to read this Dan Campbell quote about Jared Goff because I have the full quote. He said, listen, feel really good about it. Goff, love Goff. Goff's our guy, man. I think he's proven over the last 2 years that, man, he's made for us. He has to endure a lot. Just like all of us have. I thought he played his best football last year, and I think he's going to come out and play some of his best this year. Feel good about it, so I love our quarterback position right now. And then he added, when you got a quarterback, you hold on to those guys. And they left it at that. So Dan Campbell, a lot more. He defended Goff a lot more than Brad Holmes did. But I feel like Brad and him feel the same way. They talk about these things, so it's not really a surprise. A lot of mans in there, though, as expected.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the callers. 313-552-6322. Your thoughts on Campbell and Holmes, what they've said so far over the last few days. Your thoughts on Jared Goff. Is it the right play? Are you happy with them sticking with Goff?
Uncle Stuffy, call in.
No, I don't want Uncle Stuffy. Please, God. JB, who do we got on the line?
All right, let's see if we can get this to work. Here is Fletch for you guys.
All right, this is not the Woodward Fletch. This is the Fletch from the other day. Fletch, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
Good morning, fellas. Fletch in Central Florida. How's it going?
Always well.
Ooh, how's it going?
Okay, man. I got on the show a little bit late this morning, but I was hearing you talk about the Jalen Carter stuff. I mean, why is everything so subliminally secretive about this guy? We know we want him. I think everybody wants him. But every time you turn the corner, there's something else being said about him. We don't even know if it's positive or negative from what you guys are saying. I just don't really get the controversy of probably the best player in the draft. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like I said the other day, just trade up to 3 and get Anderson. But we need a DT, definitely.
Yeah, and Fletch, I think a part of it as well, because you don't want to gas up Jalen Carter if you want him at 6, but you also, don't want to say too many things negative because it's already known, the knocks on Jalen Carter, the character issues, all that stuff. So I think it's a mix. That's why when Dan's asked about him, they kind of keep it short. They don't want to, show their hand too much and show who they're interested in. But I agree. I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, this is a widely regarded best player in the draft for quite some time, and if he's there at 6, I don't think you really have to think twice about it.
That's just weird they're playing a game like this, but I know Brad will make the right decision. I have no doubt about that, but I don't think him saying he's not real familiar with Cansey. Is that what you guys said? I mean, how can that be? He's got to know Cansey in and out already.
Dude,
Yeah,
see,
sure.
That's what I think, Fletch. Like, how? There's no way. This dude, this GM, is so exceptional at talent evaluation. You can't tell me that it's March 29th and you haven't looked at Kalijah Cansey. Not at the Combine, not at tape, nada. Nothing? Really? Like, to me, I always look for where things are quiet, not where all the noise is. I think the noise is on Carter. I like to think Brad Holmes and company are looking at Tyree Wilson, Kalijah Cansey, Lucas Van Ness. I like to think they're looking at players that nobody's talking about. Am I wrong?
Yep, you're right. That's all I got to say, man. I don't know. It's just so much controversy around this Jalen Carter cat, man, and whether it's good or bad, we won't know until we pick the guy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Appreciate the call, Fletch. Well done, buddy.
Yeah, you're the man, Fletch.
Enjoy the weather.
Go Gators.
Oh, man, he's a Florida Gator fan. That's not the worst thing.
No.
It's not the worst thing. It could be worse, right?
We should have asked him about Anthony Richardson over there, but he's a Florida Gator fan.
No, I'll pass on that. Please, dear God.
Fletch.
I swear, that is the one thing that'll tilt me if they take a quarterback, let alone it's Will Levis or Anthony Richardson.
Wait, Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, the battle when they played each other, I think Anthony Richardson had like a 2 QBR.
What, they combined for 7 yards?
Yeah.
Dude,
That's rough. That is rough.
I am not prepared for the alternate world where the Lions take Anthony Richardson, number 6 overall. I know what you guys are going to say. Dan Orlovsky loves him. Mina Kimes loves him. Everybody loves him. Everybody loved Malik Willis last year. And I do think they're different quarterbacks and much different prospects. And I actually do believe Anthony Richardson has a lot more upside, way more upside than Malik Willis does, but not that high. You want to convince me about Richardson at 24, 28, trade up in the first round to get him? If you're an NFL team, all right, fine.
Yeah.
I can live with that. Top 5 pick, top 6 pick, get out of here.
I mean, Jordan Love went in the 20s, and Jordan Love his sophomore year had a really good season. It was like 32 passing touchdowns and like 7 picks. He struggled his final year, but still, he went in the 20s.
Yeah,
so for
I
Anthony
would be
Richardson,
shocked.
Yeah, I know he plays in the SEC, played for Florida, but my goodness, a 2.6 QBR.
Dude. I read a dumb comment earlier, by the way. Somebody said Matthew Stafford. Oh, wait. Let me just go back. This is going to make things a lot easier. Sorry, I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm a piece of shit. Gordon said, I love how Adham likes to say that Stafford was trash in Detroit. I didn't say that. When Stafford put up more yards and touchdowns than Justin Herbert, explain that one to me. Well, Gordon, you dipshit. Matthew Stafford in his first 3 seasons, his stats can't be compared to Justin Herbert's because Justin Herbert's were better. He threw fewer interceptions, more touchdowns, and more yards. Let's get that one out of the way. 2, Matthew Stafford was not trash in Detroit. He was excellent. The problem was his coaches and GMs were fucking trash. And for 12 years, they didn't get the best out of him because he never had anybody anybody around him at a coaching and GM level. He leaves for 1 year. Les Snead, Sean McVay, Super Bowl. The rest is history. Shut the fuck up. JB, who do we got next on the line?
All right, he's back. Here is Uncle Stuffy for you guys.
Uncle Stuffy, I don't know what happened to you earlier, buddy, but you're on the morning show. What do you got for us?
Yo, what's going on, fellas? Just touch on the Jalen Carter thing for a second.
Yep.
I hire people for a living. I interview 5 days a week. I give recommendations to executives, upper management on who to hire. Now, I'll look at it through this perspective. Jalen Carter bombed the first interview. It's a mess. Now he comes from a top program in Georgia. He might have a letter of recommendation. Might slide him through the second round. He better be perfect to get hired and get drafted. I'm talking drop that weight he put on. Interview better be perfect. He better look sharp. Answers better be crisp, clean, honest. And this new secret stuff better be he pays for adoption fees at the local animal shelter on the weekends. Other than that, we don't want him. And then number 2, I think this is a smoke show. What have we seen Brad Holmes do in the first round? Stand pat, get his guy, right, in Penei Sewell. Trade up, get his guy in J-Mo. I think this is the year we see him trade down a little bit and get the real guy that we know he knows in Kalijah Kancey. He's going to stand pat at 18. He's going to get one of these quarters or Van Ness, and it's going to be history. This is a smoke show. They're going to drum up this Jalen Carter stuff, and the idiot Raiders or someone's going to trade down to get Carter. Quarterback off the table this year. Quarterback draft is next year. We might get somebody in the 4th or 5th and just take a chance on him, compete with Sudfellows, and that's it. And my final comment on Lamar, if I was representing Lamar, I might have to sit down in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and give myself some advice because that guy's a sinking ship. He's ruining his own reputation and everybody else is around him. Yo, this is Uncle Stuffy, upstate New York. Peace out.
Boss! Uncle Stuffy's a boss.
Great call.
But I was going to ask him, well, okay,
Well, fuck him. He's not here anymore.
Well, I'll ask you then. For somebody like Uncle Stuffy, shout out to him, by the way, wild mic drop after that, who interviews people, who gives recommendations, what if you're interviewing a selective amount of, there's a couple people you're interviewing, and you know one of those people is by far
the most qualified.
The most qualified you knew would be the best worker, the most productive.
But they showed up too late on time.
Yes, but you knew, well, if we get him in the door, maybe we can groom him.
They show up to work late. They take longer lunch breaks than they're supposed to. They don't again, it's kind of hard to compare life with the NFL.
Right.
You try to draw comparisons, but basically he's not He walked into his interview underdressed, smelled like shit, answered all the questions
Had
wrong.
mustard on his shirt.
Whatever it is, like
it is what it is.
What are you gonna do?
I guess that's what you have to decide.
Look, I just again, I don't know what was in his head. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know that he was 100% okay. I don't care. This is the biggest moment of your life.
True.
Man up, and handle your business. We give so many passes all the time. I see a smoke show here. All the talk is Carter. And suddenly, Brad Holmes has never looked at any defensive tackle?
Yeah, that's the BS meter. It's going off right now.
Talk about bullshit.
Yeah, that's...
I'd be shocked if that was true.
Yeah.
But let's take another call. JB, who do we got on the line?
All right, I will send you guys James. Here's James for you guys.
All right, James, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
What's up, James?
Hey, morning, guys. How's it going?
It's going well.
Yeah, I'm with you, Adam. If they draft Richardson, I'd probably shit my pants. But I'm with you. After hearing you guys talk about Forbes and Cansey, I looked them up on YouTube, and those guys are going up my board big time.
Yep.
Like Uncle Stuffy just said, I see them trading down, getting Cansey at around 9 or 10, and then who knows? Maybe if any edge rusher be left, because like with Wilson, I'm worried about that. That's the doctor report you need on that guy,
right?
Because he's had 2 big injuries in college already. I don't know if you want to take a chance that high up.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I would agree there. I guess for me, James, is look, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't love the idea of trading back, getting more picks, and still ending up with Kalijah Cansey. But the question I have is, well, who's trading up to 6, right? Because Atlanta doesn't need a quarterback. The Raiders don't need a quarterback. Chicago traded out of the number 1 pick, so they don't want or need a quarterback. They believe in Fields. I don't see the partner.
Tennessee?
I just don't. Tennessee's at 11.
Yeah. And you can't go too far back because Cansey will be gone. So
and I think he's a top 10, top 12 pick. I do. I don't see him going anywhere further than that.
And then I wouldn't mind going along with Jeff and his hair and getting moving up maybe a little bit and getting Forbes, because I looked up film with that kid. I like his pick 6 capability. That kid's a stud.
He's a ball
I
hawk.
think that's the move for Brad Holmes. Not the player, but I think Brad Holmes. You have 2 third-round picks next year.
Mm-hmm.
You have a third-round pick this year. You got 2 second-rounders this year, and I believe 2 seconds next year?
Yes.
You got Minnesota's, I believe, correct?
If I'm not mistaken.
No, that's for this year. But beyond the point, you have a lot of ammunition to trade pick 48 and a future 3 to move up 5, 6, 7, 8 spots and get a Forbes, hopefully a Campbell. Who knows who's available, but I think that's where the fun's going to happen in this NFL draft.
I agree.
Maybe they even consider trading back into the first round. Who knows? But James, appreciate the call, man. Well done.
Yeah, have a good morning.
Yep, good call,
You too,
James.
man. You too. Look, I have a draft confession to make, and I want to be as open as I can with all of you. I'm not going to sit here and sell you on something that I don't believe to be true or that I wouldn't believe is a possibility. So I have a confession to make. I have a confession, and I would like to get all of your thoughts on it next. But before I do, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Planet Fitness. Sign up today. $10 a month is all it takes. What are you waiting for? $0 down, $10 a month. Sign up at a local Planet Fitness near you or one of their many Metro Detroit locations, or at planetfitness.com. Your fitness is essential. Again, that's planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
WoodwardSports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to WoodwardSports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate. If you missed the show live, you can always download the podcast, listen after. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever the hell you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Leave a 5-star review for Jeff's glowing hair.
Do it.
All right. I have a confession to make.
Confess.
Lord, Pope, what do they call it when you confess in that little shit, that little cubicle?
The little confessional?
Yeah.
Sit in there.
What is it called? Anybody know what it's called?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Is that part of the Catholic thing? Is that part of the Catholic thing?
Someone in the chat will know.
Someone's
more religious than us. So.
Well, I'm just not a Catholic, so I don't know, and I don't want to say it incorrectly. Anyways.
Isn't it just a confessional booth? That's what
the confession booth. I guess that's what it's called. Let's call it the confession. There you go. Whatever. I don't care.
So you're sitting up there. You're in the booth. He said,
I want to paint this picture.
And he says,
I got Pope John to my left.
Pope John.
Or right. Whatever it is.
Pope John.
He's one of the
so
OGs.
You're confessing to the Pope.
Like yeah. I got the Pope in there. I don't even have a priest.
Okay, it's the Pope.
We got the Pope himself in there.
All right.
That's
a big deal.
I'm going to say, Pope.
He said, what's the problem? What's on your mind?
I've sinned.
Why?
I've sinned because I have no idea what the fuck is going on anymore.
Just drop an F-bomb.
We talked about smoke screens. We've talked about quarterbacks. Jalen Carter, Cansey, not scouting the defensive tackle position. Emmanuel Forbes now visiting soon. Corner at 18, is that going to happen? Or is it going to be an edge? Do you pass on Carter, Tyree Wilson? And I'm enjoying this, by the way. I'm not saying this in a bad way. I love this. To me, this is fun. But I have no idea what's going to happen at 6. Nothing. I like to think I know. But liking to think I know and knowing are two very different things. I have no fucking idea. No idea what the hell they're planning for at 6. I don't know the player. I like to think I know the position. I like to think it's on the defensive line. Because I would lose my mind if it's anything outside of a defensive lineman. But that's just me. But I got nothing. Jack shit. That's my confession this morning. I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. And it kind of turns me on, and it really frustrates me. That's a toxic relationship, if you ask me. She's annoying. She beats you up. She kicks you when you're down. She never cooks. You have to eat out every day and waste your money. But man, she fucks good. Right? You guys ever been in one of those relationships? That's how I feel about the number 6 overall pick right now. That's how I feel about the number 6 overall pick. Anybody?
I feel like that's your relationship with Brad Holmes.
No, it's just the number 6 overall pick. See, me and Brad are cool. I'd marry Brad.
Okay.
Brad is a guy I'd take home and I'd marry him. I'd lock him up forever. But that number 6 overall pick, I don't know what to do with it. Look, she fucks great.
Yeah, we understand.
She's a great time.
Yeah.
But man,
she's bad.
She doesn't leave you alone. Expects a minute response every time she texts you. Goes out to dinner 5 times a week. Comes home drunk Sunday morning.
Jesus.
But damn it, she fucks good. That's the number 6 overall pick right now. And I don't know what to do. I don't.
Yeah. Are you still talking to the Pope right now? Is this?
I have no idea.
Is this part of the confession?
I don't know. He probably kicked me out.
He's like, well, I got nothing for you. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like not a terrible problem.
I think it's a great example. No.
Yeah.
You guys are very quiet about this. I'm
Mike,
very
Mike
concerned.
Mike G says Adam's confession. He's hot for Sheila.
No. No, I'm not. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. I'm not into grandma porn. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Someone tell Jeff that the token is not a word.
That token is not a word. When I say token?
Token. Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
RM Dole, man. He's really offended. I love it.
Dude, what am I going to do? I have no idea. And I like it. Again, it turns me on. This is fun. But, man, it builds anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like sending your kid on a field trip for the first time if you want to go PG route here, right? You want to respect everybody watching the show, PG route. I know the kids are at home on spring break right now, right? The PG route is you send your kid on vacation for the first time. They're going to freaking what is it called? Yellowstone?
Yep. What?
National Park. Whatever the fuck it's called. There you go. They're going to the National Park, Yellowstone. It's going to be an amazing trip. But this is the first time you've let your kid out of the house. He's going to be gone or she's going to be gone for a few days. They're only 10 years old. Are they going to get eaten by a bear? Are they going to get molested by the teacher? I don't know what the hell is going to go on. You know, parent shit. It was supposed to be, and then
I'm salty says, how do you go PG after you already got raunchy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bruh.
I don't care, to be honest. I say whatever the hell I want to say. That's kind of how the show goes.
It started with Uncle Stuffy. I think that kind of started.
Not
this
really.
whole thing.
I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I would love to do a confession, like a legitimate one. Man, I have some shit I have to get off my chest.
I can't imagine.
I have some shit I have to get off my chest. We should do that one day. We should, honestly. I've got some things like I think would surprise a lot of people. For good or for bad. Who knows? Who knows? Has anybody ever been to Yellowstone, by the way?
No, I have not. I have not.
That's on my bucket list. I want to get eaten by a bear.
Okay.
Honestly.
Thought you were going somewhere with that. Like,
no,
I
mean
want to check out Yellowstone. You went right to you just want to die by a bear. Which,
you guys
know
ever
what?
see the videos of the bears at the park, though? Like, there was one that chased down a moose, chased him into the little river, dragged his ass out of the water.
There's videos of bears chasing cars. Like, I don't think you understand.
Yeah, but there's also videos of bears giving high fives, right? And catching little bread and eating it.
I think there's probably less of that rather than bears trying to kill you. Cocaine
Adam,
bear.
do you know what state Yellowstone is in? I'm going to say...
Let's see.
I'm going to say... Fuck. Yellowstone National Park is in Idaho? Or Wyoming? It's one of the two. Jeff, help me out here.
So...
Wyoming, probably? Wyoming makes more sense than Idaho.
You nailed it.
Idaho's for what, potatoes?
No, you nailed it. It's in Wyoming.
There you go. See? Fucking batting 100 over here. 1,000, excuse me.
Batting 100.
God damn it. See, I know something. Thanks, brother. You're very appreciated around here. You have no idea. That and the Grand Canyon. Definitely want to do that trip one day.
You know where that is, right? Come on. That one is it.
Grand Canyon. Where's the Grand Canyon?
You just said you want to go to the Grand Canyon. You don't know where it is. It's Arizona.
Is it Arizona?
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
We
See, that's why we got to go
Arizona.
together. So I got you.
Thank you.
I got you.
Is it in Arizona or are you joking with me?
Yes, it is.
All right.
It's in Arizona.
Another trip, by the way. One more trip I'll bring up that I do want to take. I want to go in the middle of Denver, Colorado. Hike up in the mountains. Get a cabin. And just get the fuck away from life for about a week.
Are you pulling an Aaron Rodgers?
I didn't say ayahuasca. I said get away from life.
Well, that's what he did. He got in a little underground
Yeah,
bunker.
I'm not going underground. I'm going to a goddamn cabin. I'm going to eat normal food and just stay away from my phone for a few days.
You done messed up,
That's
Aaron.
all.
You done messed up, Aaron.
I'm not going in an underground tunnel, staring at a wall and talking to myself. Wife's probably listening to this like, I don't want to do any of this. What are you gonna do? Oh man, Adam, do you know which mountains are in the Rocky Mountains, right? Are in Colorado? I think I got that one right. Help?
Yeah.
Yes? All right, cool. You guys making me doubt myself.
No, you're good. What are you, 1 for 3? You're doing all right today. You're doing all right today.
God damn it, man. God damn it. You guys ever been on a crazy trip?
What kind of trip?
I mean, something
like
like crazy happened?
Trip. Oh, okay.
No, like, no,
like
not
Aaron
that
Rodgers'
kind of trip.
ayahuasca trip?
No, I mean, like, you went on a trip and something crazy happened. Anything come to mind? Recent memories, spring break?
I've been on a lot of like trips. I've been to a lot of different states, but I don't know about anything crazy happened. Like I didn't get chased by an animal or
we had
axe killer. Or something
we had
like that.
I think they call it what, high tide, when the waves are like really choppy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell you call it, but when we went up north, what's the place called? All those rocks, pictured rocks.
Yeah, pictured rock. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that canoe shit or whatever you call it, and it was choppy ass water. We picked the worst day to go. That was like an intense hour stretch. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good time, but those waters are not fun at all.
Yeah, no.
I did the same kayak or canoe trip you did.
Canoe with a kayak, whatever the hell they call it. I don't know.
It's called. And an hour into it, my girl was like, "Get us off of this fucking water right now. I'm done with this."
Yeah, I didn't take the kayak. I was on a tourist little boat, so like I didn't have to do any work.
That's like going to Niagara Falls and wearing the jacket. So what's the point? Just embrace the water. You know?
Just go all in.
By the way, fucked up shit. If you guys ever want to think about it, like what's stopping the boat driver at Niagara Falls from just going straight into the fucking waterfall? Honestly.
You said what's stopping them? Well, prison time would be probably number one.
They're gonna be dead.
Okay, well, all right.
I'm just asking a very normal question.
Oh my
Like, what's stopping them? I wonder if it's ever happened. Like, fuck, I'm having a bad day at work. Fuck all of you.
Did we have this conversation yesterday? You said if you're gonna think about doing that stuff.
No, I know. I'm just asking a question. I'm not saying to do it.
No, I know what you're saying.
I'm just asking. And that's totally different.
Your thought process from yesterday would be, if you're thinking about doing that, before anybody gets on the ride, just drive yourself into a waterfall.
Look, if you're thinking of shooting up a school, just to clarify what Jeff is saying, if you're thinking of shooting up a school, do me a favor, go to the back of your room, go to the bathroom, go out to the fucking middle of nowhere, just kill yourself. Nobody wants you alive. Do us all a favor. Thank you very much. Stop shooting kids. Thank you.
No Sleep Adam is just not taking any BS today.
I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to get into it, though. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll circle back, have normal conversations. If this wasn't normal. 9:41, we'll get KoolAid in here. We'll have a quick conversation about the Pistons and a lot more coming up. But before we go, I got to tell you about my cousins, or excuse me, my... Dude, I haven't slept in 26, 27 hours.
Give him a break.
All right? My friends at Cousins Maine Lobster. God damn it, Adam. Scan the QR code or go to cousinsmainelobster.com. Find out where the food trucks are and treat yourself to a delicious lunch. Lobster tacos, clam chowder soup. The fact that they have me reading food shit while I'm fasting, very offensive, by the way. Team in the back, we're going to talk later about this. Anyways, that shit looks delicious. Try it out. And if you're feeling fat, get the tots as well. 3-course meal. Enjoy yourselves. We'll be right back.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir-fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. I have zero energy and zero will to do anything at the moment outside of taking calls. But before we do, you guys are asking if I should run for mayor. I think that's too low level, right? And I'm 29. Isn't there an age limit? Or not really at the low level? It's at president, you have to be a minimum of 35.
Minimum age to run
for president, I think it's 35. So I still got 6 years in me before I can run. So I got 6 years to grow my audience and figure my shit out.
I think mayor's a little more lenient. Like I think you could probably be mayor at your age.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, mayor isn't.
Mayor's whatever, though. Like, what am I going to actually get done? Honestly. Like, what the actual hell am I going to get done?
Well.
Like, for me, the way I'm thinking, man, dictatorship.
Okay.
If I were to run, what would I run as? That's the key question here.
Independent? Just
no.
Your own.
I'd pick one of the sides, 100%. You got to steal the votes. I got to run independent. That shit doesn't work.
Be like
that shit doesn't work. See, if I'm going to run, I think I'd run as a Republican. Because I got enough common sense in me to get some people on the left to agree with me. And then I have my total blatant, I don't give a fuck. That works really well on the right.
Yeah.
All right? So I think I'm I'm pretty much in the middle. I think I could win the hearts of Americans.
Win the hearts.
Oh, God. You know who I think should run for president, by the way, that never would? That I think would be a total fuck you to everybody working in office? Joe Rogan. You laugh. You laugh, man.
Mark Cuban?
Dude, no, Mark Cuban, no way.
That's another guy. I mean,
no way. No, I think Joe Rogan would be awesome. But let's take some calls.
Joe Rogan tripping in the White House.
No, see, I think the president's job, in my opinion, because they don't do shit anyways. They don't control this country. They really don't. If we're all honest.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the president gets some of the shit he wants done, gets it passed, but more important than anything, gets everybody to work together. And I would say the last 4 haven't done a good job of that. But whatever. Anyways, moving on. We'll take callers. JB, who do we got?
All right, I'm going to send you guys Darrell here.
All right, Daryl.
Daryl, yes.
Stop fucking that up.
Daryl, my bad, Daryl.
All right, Daryl, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
Hey, fuck you, Jay.
Damn.
JB called straight.
Two calls in a row. And Adam, what the fuck, dude? You've gone from confessing to the Pope to driving the boat directly into the Niagara Falls. Talking about trips, this show has turned into one trip in itself today. I'm loving it, though. I'm loving it. Man, these people call in and they say, you got to prove yourself. Thank God. And we got our own decisions on what's going on with the draft and stuff like that. We change our minds so much. I am so glad I'm not living in the Mayhew Millen era, and I got somebody that's got some balls, somebody that knows what they're doing, is taking care of the general manager position in the Lions. I am so satisfied with whatever he does, and look what he's done. He's built the defense back without breaking the bank. Before the draft, he's done. Holmes is just, I'm so satisfied with him. And then going back to the Stafford thing, you were talking about people knocking Stafford. Stafford didn't, he didn't have an offensive line. For years we were saying, we need offensive line, we need offensive line. Look what Holmes has done. They got the offensive line they need, and then I'm just so satisfied that we can sit back and whenever we think it doesn't fucking matter because we got Holmes in charge and we got somebody that knows what the hell he's doing.
Preach, Daryl. You're spot on, and it's kind of ironic too. The situation that Matthew Stafford went to win a Super Bowl, you plucked Brad Holmes from that organization. So it's a man in Brad Holmes who just operates differently. And again, it's new to us as Lions fans because again, Brad Holmes is an actual competent general manager who knows how to build a football team, and it's something we haven't seen in quite some time. So you're spot on, Daryl.
Daryl, appreciate the call, man, and thanks for the call back, by the way.
I was just sitting ready to say, the better your day's going, man, drop that fucking fasting and go home and drink some Heineken and just sit back and say, fuck the world, I'm going to enjoy the day.
Daryl,
Later, dude.
You're a legend, Daryl.
Take care, man. All right.
He said sit back, say fuck it all, dude.
By the way, I rarely get to do stuff like this, and I think we all should. And just in life in general, I don't think it's okay. It's just my belief. I don't think it's okay to let everything build up and you get upset or you read a comment and you don't like it. Just fucking talk about it, right? You fight with your significant other, talk about it. Don't ignore each other, right? And my significant other in the chat this morning is Philippines On Demand. He said this show gets worse all the time. Every time I think Adam can't hit a new low, he does. Totally unprofessional. Well, Philippines, suck my balls. Suck my dick, suck my balls, and lick my asshole for all I care. How about that?
Suck balls.
How about that? How about that for unprofessional?
Well, yeah, I listen.
How about that?
It's all preference.
Like I give a shit.
And we have a good time on the show. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, look, you know what? By the way, some really good questions showing up here. Speaking of... oh my God, you guys are horrible. Adam, would you storm East Lansing? No, I wouldn't.
Okay,
That's ridiculous.
No, we're not getting that.
I'm not a fan.
We're
of
not
that.
doing that.
Yeah, we are, but we're not supporting it. Oh
Jesus,
God,
man.
Oh God. What are you gonna do? All I know is I don't give a shit. I'll say whatever I want to say, and if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it and you don't have to listen. It's very simple.
Jeff Lammy says, how do I get those visuals out of my mind?
I'm sorry.
I don't blame you, Jeff. Jeff talking here. I get it. I understand.
Oh God.
You're a sicko, man.
If Adam was president, hamsters would be worth gold. What does that mean? Hamsters would be worth gold. Is that something or no? I've never heard of that before. That's totally over my head. Adam needs to do some hip thrusts. Meh.
The hip thrust died when Fish left.
By the way, in division mock drafts, who do you want to take on? Chicago, Minnesota, or Green Bay? I'll let you pick.
I'll go Green Bay.
Okay, then I'll handle Chicago.
Well, we could do that.
Green Bay, Chicago, let's bring them to the table tomorrow for tomorrow's show.
I'm
Deal?
cool with it. We got you, Noah.
All right, tomorrow, mock drafts in division edition. Jeff will do the Packers. I'll do the Chicago Bears. Should be fun.
I like that idea.
Easy said, because people shove hamsters in their ass. Do they? Is that a thing? Look, guys, if you're into some weird shit, I don't care what you put in your ass. I don't.
Okay.
Like, you're not going to sit up here and get judgment from me on that stuff. I'm not. I'm not going to be the one to judge what you put in your butthole. All right?
And by the way, JB with the drops. JB, you could do Minnesota. Funky just brought that up.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm down with that. What do you think, JB? Up for it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Hell yeah.
Yep, that'll be good. Good idea,
Hell
Funky.
Yeah. Oh, man. Adam for City Council. Board ratings boosted by 63%. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I don't even think I would do well in my community, to be honest with you. I think I'm very much out there. Whatever you want to consider out there.
Jake says JB drop game is unmatched.
You
are
100%.
correct.
10 out of 10.
JB's spot on with the drops and the music.
Oh, God. All right, well, here's what we're going to do. We'll take a break. When we get back, KoolAid will be joining us. We'll wrap up the show with mailbag after that. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Fulling Warehouse is in Hamtramck, and it's the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12, the unlimited open play, or you can pay $120 for a lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 mystery beer machine, full bar. Check it all out, fullingwarehouse.com.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com, joined by our Detroit Pistons beat reporter, Brandon KoolAid. KoolAid, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, but I don't know if I bring you any good news this morning from the Woodward Pistons podcast. Yo, I just wrapped up with Rod Beard, and at the end of the show today, you know what he said to me? I think he knew I was coming here to talk to you.
Oh, God.
Brace yourself. He believes that Killian Hayes and Dwayne Casey, look at his face, they will be here next year. He firmly believes. I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to ruin your morning like that. Look at his face.
You know how excited I was?
This is the meanest he's ever looked at me.
I already tried. Before Rod even said that, what did I say yesterday? I said, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Dwayne's here next year. Everyone's like, oh, Jeff, you're defending Dwayne. I'm just simply saying I wouldn't be shocked if he's here next year. I'm not saying I agree with it or disagree with it. It just is what it is.
And that's what he stated too. He just said, based on how everything is starting to wrap up right now, based on how everything is starting to look, based on what the organization is saying, it's going to be a Dwayne Casey, Killian Hayes party in my city.
What, a party in your city, Adam? Adam,
I'm so sorry. Look, he's never looked at me this mean, man. I've never been on this side of the Adam-ish list, man.
He's running off 0 hours of sleep. So this is no sleep during Ramadan. Adam, 9:43, your live reaction. And he looks like he's going to drive into the Niagara Falls right now. If he's okay. Well,
so Dwayne Casey's the head coach next year.
It's going to be an interesting time,
I'm
man.
going to tie cinder blocks to my feet. I'm going to jump off the Ambassador Bridge.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my gosh. Listen, man, we got to keep him on. We got to keep Adam on alert, man. Everybody, keep an eye out on Adam. If you see him anywhere near the Ambassador Bridge next season, please, please, please call Jeff. Call somebody at Woodward.
You motherfucker, man. You know, I thought you were going to break news. And when you said Killian Hayes, I was like, what? And then you said Dwayne Casey. I was like, holy shit, no way they're going to move both?
But look, I saw his face when I said Killian. He was just like, then when I said Casey, he was just like, it was just like, yo, I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah, both of them, man. It's interesting because of where they believe they are in their development.
So they haven't developed enough, so they're going to keep the shithead around. That's what they're telling us.
Listen. They like what he's done. They like the strides and the steps that the young players have taken. They do believe they can augment around that. That is one thing to keep in mind. Think about it. The strides they see from James Wiseman, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, they believe that if this year wasn't one derailed by injury, that they would have been able to keep the the preseason promise of what, Jeff? Learning to compete every single night. Going into next season, I believe that they think they can put out a squad that can compete a little bit better. You know, they'll hopefully utilize this cap space in a different way. Like I told Rod this, man. Look, this free agency and this offseason, this is the KoolAid in a jar. You need Troy Weaver to pour it without dropping that mug, because if he does, we're going to be looking at a repeat of the Ben Gordon and the Charlie V years. He has to do this summer right, and that's all that matters. We've seen Casey in situations where he's had better talent, and he's looked good. But I'm sorry, Adam. I'm trying to give you at least the KoolAid aspect of it, man. I'm trying to give you some outlook.
Yeah, you sweetened it up a little bit.
Some outlook. I mean, look, I'm telling you, listen, they do believe they can go out there this summer and sign an impact player or at least acquire one. They do believe that they're going to draft an impact player this season. So it's going to be interesting, Jeff. It's going to be interesting, Adam. I do believe that Casey has shown some competency as it relates to development, but I did say this on the show this morning to Rod, you know, do you believe, because I do see this to a degree, that a new voice could be necessary or needed as it relates to schemes, as it relates to defense, whether that's a head coach, and we've talked about this before, or augmenting your assistant coaching staff. I do believe that there are some wrinkles that need to be had. Now, Adam, are you giving Casey that time to figure that out, or you think it's I think I'm asking a moot question, but is it dead in the water to you? Nothing can happen this summer?
I like what Wiseman's done. Great trade, by the way. Love how Ivy is developing. I would say very good his rookie year from the three-point line. Needs to get better at the free throw line, more consistent. But he's got star written all over him. Cade Cunningham, if he can eat some meat, stay healthy, that'd be nice. Maybe get Victor Wembanyama in here.
Couple extra PB&J sandwiches.
But
I feel you, man.
You've been here for 5 years, 6 years, whatever it is. The last 4 have been really development years. You could argue 3. Fine. Where's the identity on offense? Where's the identity on defense? If it's a player's league, why am I holding on to Dwayne Casey? It's just where I'm at.
Yeah, and it's.
I think he's. I don't want to say it because it's just mean, and I don't.
Then don't say it.
So I'm just not gonna say anything.
Jeff is like the good angel.
So
say it.
I'm trying to help him out. Because I get where he's coming from, and a lot of Pistons fans feel exactly how Adam's feeling. But the difference is you have to find a balance between how much credit are you giving coaching in the NBA. Because if you don't believe it's important, then it shouldn't concern you that Dwayne's here or not. It shouldn't.
Go look at the youngest rosters in the NBA, which the Pistons are among them.
So
go look at the top 10 youngest rosters, and go point out the coaches that you like, and compare their records to the Pistons, and you'd be shocked.
Well, you can't because the Pistons are the worst team in the NBA right now. So
that's the problem.
But again, context matters because technically the Houston Rockets have more wins. But who would you rather have, the Rockets or the Pistons situation?
Yeah, Pistons.
Easily.
You say that, but you say that.
It's not even a debate. So I would ask you this: how much does coaching matter? Because if it matters, then you can't look at the players making progress and say, well, Dwayne has nothing to do with those players, but you believe coaching matters. So if you don't believe it matters...
I think coaching... No. So
like,
I think
which side are you on?
John Morant develops with or without his coach. Jaden Ivey develops on the Pistons, the Magic, or anywhere the fuck...
So you don't think coaching significantly matters that much?
Not significantly. I think it
with
does
certain
matter.
Players, you're saying.
And I think it accelerates a lot of players more often than not. But this is a team that is not a team. It's a group of individuals. And I don't see that changing next year when you're going to sell me on the idea of them going out and acquiring a pretty decent player, above average player, to include with Cade Ivey, Killian Hayes, Victor Wembanyama possibly,
Bojan Burks,
James Wiseman, who I think has a future here. I love the way he's played.
Yeah.
Oh, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren. I mean, I would love to buy in.
This is the thing. The buy-in is not on if this team is going to be a legitimate play-in team next year.
They won't be.
They won't. When you list the talent, when you look at it objectively,
coach.
the Casey plays a role. He does, and that's where, as the season has gone on, and Jeff and I have talked about, let's really look in this season to assess, and that's where we both come away with saying something new needs to happen, whether it's a coach or whether it's him augmenting his staff or his voice. We haven't really seen an identity, though we know they've preached, hey, we want defense to be our identity, though we know they work on it all the time. It's just not resonating, whether it's because the different players are in and out or because, like we identified at the beginning of the season, they don't have too many highly individually talented players on the defensive end.
I got a guy.
We were bumping our gums about Killian, and he hasn't met the expectation that he set in previous years.
Yeah, but Killian's garbage, man.
Garbage.
We're so
is a
used to
stretch.
losing in Detroit that we just like accept shit now.
Well, come on. That's the
Dwayne
thing.
Casey is a career 46% winning percentage coach
But
in
a lot
the
of-
regular season.
But
don't give me a but. And
Come on.
37
Look at-
38% in the playoffs.
Okay, what was it during his tenure with the Pistons? Again, I'm finding myself defending Dwayne, but
Okay,
it's reality.
38%.
During his tenure with the Pistons, give me his
win
best roster.
percentage.
Give me his
31% with the Pistons, 43% with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and 57% with the Toronto Raptors.
57% with a roster that was built to contend. So, Adam, with the Pistons, give me the best roster.
So
you
you don't get to have it both ways. And I'm going to tell you why, and I really like you guys, and I love the way you guys cover the Pistons. I think you do a great job. You can't fucking tell me that they have talent and they have all these players, and then next year they're not going to be a play-in team, and then I got to wait the next year after that, and the next year after that. And somehow this coach, who's yet to build an identity here, by the way, you're 10 years removed from him in Toronto, where he was in his prime, and they were winning 7, 8, 9, 10 playoff games in the offseason. Or, excuse me, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's 10 years ago.
Let me put it this way. I think that this season right here coming up, this free agency, how we talk about how pivotal it is in this draft, I believe that this next season is one of the most important seasons.
Absolutely.
Period. That's the thing. If I was sitting here believing that it's about the long term of Casey, that's something for him to earn. That's something that Casey has to go out there and prove. I deserve to still be here. I'm showing some aspect of progress, because this is the time where all the excuses go out the window. When you know, bro, I'm adding another high-level draft pick to this roster. Not just like you stated, not just a good player that needs the coach's development. I'm talking about those guys who, you know, wherever they go, they're going to be those guys.
Right.
When you're adding that and you're adding another, it's not just going to be another high-impact player through acquisition, but another couple players, another couple pieces. You try to give that coach, if he's done everything up until that point, you try and give that coach the opportunity to see what he can do. But generally, all air, all room for excuses, all room for mistakes, all room for non-execution.
It's not there.
For non-execution, that stuff goes away. Next season is a season, Adam, where I believe we're going to see if Casey's here or not, no matter who's here. I believe that the level of scrutiny on this team, the level of scrutiny on the players, the level of scrutiny is going to go up. We've seen it a little bit. This GM has already acted and operated a little bit differently than other ones we've seen in the past. Previous ones don't put Killian Hayes on the bench as fast as they did. Previous ones don't necessarily trade a Sadiq Bey as fast as they did. These guys are making assessments quickly and on the fly.
Yes.
To be ready to make up for the loss, because they should have been ready to compete this year.
Well, Brandon, the whole point, we talked about this even last year before the season. The season was always about figuring out who's staying and who's going.
Yeah.
So even with Cade, I mean,
So why can't we have that conversation about the coach?
Because it was more so on the play. Like, without Cade...
How? All the players are improving.
Okay, so...
But they don't play as a team. They still don't know how to play defense. And the offense is inconsistent as hell.
Troy puts it on the roster construction. He said that he gave Casey effectively no bigs, no toughness. These are the things that Troy said about his own roster.
That's not how you win in the NBA today. So that's a bunch of bullshit anyways.
But he called out the teams that they're getting punked by. And it's the facts, man. Cleveland, Milwaukee. He called out the Bucks. The Bucks came in here and housed them.
Enough bigs for one team in today's NBA? Granted, Stewart's undersized, so I'll give you that.
Look, I started the season with that, and I got trounced, bro, by saying I don't know if the Pistons, if Stewart is going to be that guy as it relates to where they were playing him from the 5 spot. And it proved out, and the Pistons said it too, he's not that guy. He's a little undersized. I think that they would rather play him as a more along the lines of a wing, like a wing power forward, than they would as a power forward 5, though they know they
what
can
did we
moonlight
think
him.
last year going into this season? We thought again, given Cade was healthy.
I said max
32,
30 wins.
33 wins.
Well, I said max. I say they'd be lucky to get 30 with
We said max about 30.
So
max 30.
It was over the number of 26.5. We went over.
Yes.
Okay? They're well below that. And
about
they're
15 games short.
And
without
again,
Cade.
I understand losing when your best player arguably is out for the whole year.
Yeah.
I get it. What I don't get is there is no identity. When
You're
Steph
right on
Curry
that
is out for the Warriors, they still play the same basketball. When Ja Morant is out for the Grizzlies, they still play the same basketball. Tatum needs to miss a game or Brown, they play the same basketball. Is it as efficient? Is it as high level? Of course not. 4 years, and I don't know.
I agree with you on that one. When you look at it from a basketball standpoint, we are highly... the success seems to be based on how our dogs do. If Cade is leading the charge, if Ivy is leading the charge. And so I agree with you on that. The identity needs to be there, but I do think it's a marriage. And I think part of me believes Casey is Troy Weaver is saying, you know what, I want to get you the roster before I actually make a decision, because Casey's a good guy. Casey is well respected around the league. Casey has NBA stars that state what he is, but obviously it's about what are you doing for me now? You know, and I do believe that Weaver is probably trying to be as fair as possible during a year that you can actually take that time. Like we stated, it's a once Cade went down, and we knew this year. We said, well, if they don't make the play, if they don't make the playoffs, it's still okay this year. But the way they've looked, you're right. I didn't think that it would be with a lack of identity. I do agree with that. I thought there would be more of identity.
But there's also context with that, because you bring up the Grizzlies with Ja Morant. They had the core all together with or without Ja.
But how long did it take them to form it? 3 years.
Right, but they knew who they had. Like right now, you're playing Wiseman, who Duren has more career minutes than. You're letting him get run.
True that.
Duren, who's a rookie. You have Ivy, who's a rookie. You have RJ Hampton, who's trying to get a roster spot. You have Eugene Amorie, who's just getting 10-day contracts. Like, this roster is just a collection of random young players that are just trying to get a job.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies had a
That's fine.
roster that they still have exactly the same
and I'm
now.
not saying that they have to perform at some high level.
Like, this is just a collection of young
different
players.
Shit every night, throwing against the wall and hoping it sticks. There isn't an identity. That is what I mean. I agree with you. I don't like the fact that it's so many different names every single night. It's frustrating.
Right, like
the
Stewart's
record's
injury,
not even my issue
Bagley's
right now.
injury, so many
But
different injuries.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When I'm building a project, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything about the game of basketball. But if I'm building a project, I'm going to start with my identity. Mark Jackson started the identity in Golden State. He started it. Steve Kerr came, made some adjustments, was a much better people person, and obviously the rest is history. But Mark Jackson built that foundation with the elevator offense, the Splash Bros, the idea of a young, a small guard lineup. That was Mark Jackson. Steve Kerr took it, perfected it, made it way better, was much smarter about it. What does Dwayne Casey have that he's holding on to where in 2 years you can tell me, man, the Pistons are coming.
Now,
year 5 of Cade, year 3 of Ivy, year 4 of Ivy.
I would like to know how many different starting lineups Mark Jackson had to deal with that season trying to form an offense. Because I've seen how many, you bet at the games.
Yeah.
How many different starting lineups have you seen since the first game till now?
Bro, it used to be we could just, hey, push button. I know I can have the graphic ready to look. I'm not even gonna prepare the game starters, because it changes so much. Like, you think someone's there, then all of a sudden they just change it. And Rod did speak today. He said right now, the last 20 games into the end of the season, the Pistons haven't even cared about identity necessarily.
You don't get to go spend $30
strategy.
million on a free agent. Let's say a Jeremy Grant. All right, let's use him as an example. You don't get to go out and acquire him and have him, Wembanyama, or Brandon Miller, and Cade, and Ivy, and Duren all on the court at the same time. And then you still have all your other players that you want to sit here and talk to me about development, Wiseman, Hayes, and the list goes on and on. Like, when does Troy Weaver also take accountability?
Yeah.
And fucking put something together So he can build an identity. Because, newsflash for you guys, there's no difference right now between the Houston Rockets and the Detroit Pistons. They're both shit shows on the court.
Well,
one is more promising, obviously. And it's the Pistons.
One's a shipwreck.
But they're both shit shows on the court that are inconsistent, and you have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Well, the Rockets... Eric Gordon came out a couple months ago and said, what progress is being made? And he's like, there's literally nothing. Like, this is a disaster.
I would love for somebody in Detroit to come out and say
And then
that.
you got Steven Silas crying after games. Like, Dwayne Casey's... They're so... like,
look.
You say that, and again, we can say that. But it's the same shit.
Look, Adam, I'm telling you, for me, it's not a long-term thing. It has to look better next season. It really does. I'm serious. And I think that's what's going on. Troy, he did say, look, we're going to get the players in here. We're going to get the roster figured out. But Bojan Bogdanovic, in his interview with Hoops Hype, he spoke to the issues this year and the problem they need to figure out going forward, which is what I believe they're doing with Jaden Ivey getting his usage rate up. And that's Cade Cunningham. He was the identity. Bojan Bogdanovic stated that everything revolved around Cade Cunningham. All the offense, all the sets, the pick and roll offense, where the shooters were going to be. Bojan was brought in to complement Cade. And so going into next season, when you know Ivy can be that guy, when you know you're drafting another guy, it just needs to be different. I agree with you on that. But the identity prior was just Cade. Now that they're stepping into a little bit more talent, now that Bojan has shown and proven what he can be, I believe next year is when you're going to see more of an offensive identity. But if they don't figure out how to play defense or get the players in there, to your point,
next year
on Troy Weaver, yes,
some people are being
it's
launched.
going to look bleak.
Yes,
it's going to look bleak because the defense is where they're getting punked. We've seen them put up offensive numbers. They're getting punished on the boards and on the defensive side where people are just waltzing in for layups, pirouetting like it's a ballet class. Like it's not what we want to see as Detroit sports anything, whether you're a fan, whether you're covering a team or both. Like you want to see this team go out there and at least look the punishing way that we've seen even bad teams look. We saw Jason Maxiell go out there and punish people. We saw Junkyard Dog go out there and punish people. And not that these guys aren't trying to, but those collective teams did. Like the Jerry Stackhouse Pistons weren't getting punked. They weren't necessarily what they were supposed to be, but we saw them go out there and try to do work every single night. And that's kind of the identity that I want to see come back. And I get it. It can be frustrating with everything that's going on.
Well, look, KoolAid, thank you so much for joining us. Fuck mailbag. Sorry, guys. We'll get back to it tomorrow. I apologize. Till tomorrow. You guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Thank you so much for stopping by, KoolAid. That was really fun. Jeff, appreciate the conversations. As always, JB, well done today. Drops were on point. Alex, you do whatever. Who cares? We're out of here. Till tomorrow. You guys have a great rest of your day. We're out of here. I'm going to go fucking sleep.